We're streaming.
Thank you. So, hi.
Oh my God.
Okay, so here we are again in the trials and tribulations of technology,
Oh God.
totally ripping us the F apart. But we're okay. This is our third or 15th take on this morning's.
This is our hero's journey.
Right, today.
That's for sure.
Okay, so let's dig into it. You're in a better mood now? You're okay?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so let's just start with, hi, I'm Blake Roberts, and this is
Diana Roberts.
and we are the owners and brokers here at Peer-to-Peer Brokers in lovely Hermosa Beach, California. So today we're going to be talking about something near and dear to our hearts that we didn't even know existed until about 2 days ago. But it's amazing, and we call it the hero's journey.
Well, the thing came about because obviously we watched Bohemian Rhapsody,
Right?
and my son is also fascinated about Queen, and the song Bohemian Rhapsody makes you want. Well, each time you listen to it, even today, even though it was written many years ago, and he asked us, he's like, "What is this song about?" It's like,
Yeah, I challenge anybody.
yeah, and I said, well, you know what? Let me think about it because I don't know. It sounds great. It's even
great
more
music.
current than ever. Great music, but it goes crazy from beginning to end. So clearly Queen was an absolute genius.
Right, but so I was saying there was no meaning to any of these words. They were just drug-addled craziness from the band that they made up words and said, let's write a song where it doesn't make any sense and see if people will listen to it.
But that's so not the
Not true.
case. So we came to realize
through some we talked to our creative director, Michael, who doesn't like his last name being used, so we'll just call him Michael. And Michael said, oh no, you guys don't get it. It's the hero's journey. This is the story from the beginning of the band's roots, through their success, their creativity, and to their ultimate pinnacle of growth. It's the hero's journey, and it's the same journey that every movie sticks to.
Yes.
That every story and journalist sticks to. It's not just beginning, middle, and end. It's all the pieces that make up a story.
Everything in life. So it's created by Joseph Campbell. And this is the topic today, and this is what we're going to talk about today, this chart. And once we...
chart, please. Watch the power I have. Boom! There's the chart.
Here you go. So this chart is actually, once you kind of understand it and you look through it, you do understand that, oh my God, this is the chart of every success, behind every success, every cool movie, story, book. It's this chart, the hero's journey chart.
Right, so let's orient ourselves. This is like a clock, and we're starting up here at 12 o'clock. And the most important thing in this is that part where you see normal world versus the unknown. And we're going to twist this from being Luke Skywalker and Harrison Ford to being you as a real estate agent. Your journey, your hero's journey, following the hero's journey chart as a realtor. And we're going to go through it pretty quickly. And hopefully there's an epiphany for you of, aha, this is so true, right?
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, if you do understand the cycle of this, you're going to be a better person. You're going to be more successful. And I think the journey of being a realtor and being a business owner is going to be much easier and much more you understand the process.
Right.
So, okay, so let's start. Call to adventure.
Right. So
what's call to adventure, Blake?
So let's real estate, right? So in real estate, you most likely have been in some other business. Very few people, except Diana, started off wanting to be a realtor. So when you were in your early 20s, you said, ta-da, realtor, right?
Yeah.
Most people
I didn't say it kind of come to me.
Right.
I didn't even know what the business is.
You didn't have a prior career where you worked for 20 years for IBM or for some big company or around here 20 years at some military
this
company.
is my first and only career.
Right. So you got in and said, this is what I want to do.
Right.
Most of us have a previous career. Mm-hmm. And that previous career, for whatever reason, wasn't what we wanted to continue doing. Right? So either you're forced into real estate or you make the choice. But that's the call to adventure for realtors. You have a calling, which is, I'm going to start my own business. So we started this together because we had this idea to start the Blake and Diana Real Estate Company. That was our adventure. We said, oh my God, we don't work well for other people. We barely get along ourselves. But I know, let's start a business where we work together, and that's our call to adventure, right?
Absolutely. So the call to adventure is very simple, is being a realtor, being a CEO of your own business. But then
Right.
the next phase is pretty much, to me, as a 15-year veteran in the business, it's probably the most important thing, which is the mentor, meeting a mentor, meeting a coach, meeting somebody or something that inspires you every single day. And this is crucial, and hopefully it comes to you very quickly and it doesn't take you so long to figure this out. So honestly, this chart, the hero's journey, should be the first thing you kind of understand and learn in real estate school. This is a cycle of this business.
Right.
But the mentor is a key component.
Somebody who's telling you the basic steps you need to follow. And we're not saying as the mentor, they're the person who takes your life on.
Right.
It's somebody who's guiding you down the right path. You have 25 paths you can follow. And the wrong path, it's picking the wrong door. The wrong door takes you to failure. The right door takes you to riches. So, the mentor helps guide you towards, hopefully, the right path towards riches. The yellow brick road.
Yeah, but so give you some ideas in this business. What could be a good mentor? It could be your broker. It could be the company, the broker who you choose to work with. It could be, your wife or your husband or maybe your mom or dad, whoever is really kind of close to you and you trust. The full trust is in them. Or it could be a coach, a business coach. It could be, a great book you read or a movie you've seen or something that you believe in and it resonates to you and it resonates to your soul, so you can kind of be inspired.
Right. So it's inspiration, and it's somebody who's giving you good advice. Think about people who want to become a great golfer. They just don't become a great golfer. They hire a golf pro to help them learn to play golf.
Nobody becomes an Olympic winner until they have a good coach.
Right, who helps kind of put them down the right path. Yeah. Okay, so that's 2 o'clock on our 12 o'clock, on our 12-hour kind of path, right?
Right.
So now this is the most important part, which is crossing the threshold. And the threshold represents a chasm of some sort. It represents a moat, chasm, fiery pit, Hades, whatever you want to think of. You're crossing something that seems that you can't cross it. You're having to get over a hump. And in real estate, that hump represents, we kind of joke about it, if you can make 6 months in real estate, that's a mini trench. You can make a year. If you can make a year, you can probably make 2 years. And if you can make 2, 4, and then maybe from there you'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I think after 5 years being in the business, you really kind of experience some.
Right.
You experienced a few of these cycles, and then you kind of get the business.
Right. I want to say, I'm sorry to interrupt. So right now we have this weird thing happening. The market is totally changing. And those who have been in the market for 5 years, they've been practicing real estate how they think the market works,
on the high. Yeah.
On the high end. Oh, it's like this is such a great business.
Yeah.
We know so many agents. You put the listing up and it sells. Oh, I'm such a great agent. No, you probably suck, but you've been super lucky, and maybe you're good. Maybe you're super likable, which we'll get into in a moment. But that's the key to being a good agent, is to being super likable. But the market's shifting now, so skills are going to be required moving forward. So that's a different. So even people who've been in the market for 5 years as realtors, they've got some new challenges. But let's move forward. Now we're talking about,
the trials and failure. Wow, this is crucial. This is probably going to make you a better person, a really kind of stronger you. Everything, even if you create a product, have trials, and then many, many trials. There are failures. But I think in the failures is when you kind of have the growth process. So you can only grow if you fail at certain things, and then you will kind of eliminate what's not working, so you can kind of focus on the things and items that do work.
Right. Now,
So
in
that's
failures,
where the growth
right, but in
comes
failures for realtors, that typically means money you've spent. It's typically about spending money for services or advertising that doesn't work, or for buying lists or whatever it is. Typically, realtors spend money, and that's their failure, because it takes money to run the business, And if you run out of business, it's hard to be in the business.
But I think you can only kind of experience, again, you try door knocking, cold calling, being social, farming, all these kind of tools, videos, all these tools you do try. Hopefully some of them will resonate, some of them will not. So you need to eliminate, you need to, fail at certain things in order to get the
Absolutely, good
things
point.
that work.
So in this step though, if you bring the chart back up, you'll see that next to trials and failure, it says helper. So a helper, who's that helper? That could be an assistant. It could be, again, your coach. It could be, again, the mentor. It's somebody who's helping you work through the trials and failures.
Mm-hmm.
It's somebody helping push you forward. There needs to always be somebody besides yourself to push you forward. So again, in the team of Blake and Diana, I think we're each other's helper, and also sometimes we're not each other's helper. But overall, we do try and keep each other moving forward towards success, right? It's really, really hard. So we're headed towards now 5 o'clock in this chart. At 5 o'clock, it's growth and new skills. That's changing. You cannot stay stagnant. You have to, it's not just revolutionary, it's more evolutionary, right? You need to keep evolving what you know and what you do and evolving your skill set to apply to a new and ever-changing market.
Which means that after the growth and new skills that you develop, hopefully, certain things will die and then you rebirth.
Right.
Right?
So like you mentioned door knocking.
Yeah.
In real estate, door knocking is kind of, let's go back to cold calling. Cold calling was a staple of real estate.
Absolutely. Everybody who started 10 years ago in the business, number one thing was cold calling.
Hi, I'm Blake with XYZ Real Estate Company. Do you want to sell your home? Hello, hello. And they hang up on you. But today it's illegal, and I think in the South Bay, there's maybe 1,000 homes that are not on the do not call list. So overall, it's not something you should be doing. And most of us use our cell phones. We don't even have a landline anymore. Yeah. And when someone calls me on my cell phone, I'm pissed off. And I'm a realtor. So again, there's an example of new skills, learning what doesn't work anymore and learning what works. That's not saying you should stop cold calling if it works for you. If you find business, do it. But you need new skills and new ways to find buyers and sellers in your business. That's the growth phase.
Yes, absolutely. And I think also since, social media and the new vlogging world.
It's so cute when she says vlogging.
Vlogging. You need to develop new skills, and it was not easy for us either, and we're still learning. And I think everybody goes through this process. When you hear your voice, you see your face, and you just like, who is this person? You obviously looking at somebody who you don't look at. You look at yourself in the mirror a different way than people how they perceive you. So it's really hard to kind of go through this. But I think if you want to adopt to the new world and to 2019 and forward, you need to be open for that. And I think those people who are not open for the change, for the rebirth, then you're going to have a hard time succeeding in the long run.
Right. So
I'm not talking about somebody who's in the business for 30 years and something keeps them going and working. That's great, but I'm not sure they're going to survive in the next 30 years if they're not changing.
Right, they won't probably.
Right.
So now we're at 6 o'clock on the chart, which is death and rebirth. And, in some respects, this is kind of the challenge between ordinary and extraordinary. Do you have the power in your hero's journey to become extraordinary? And that's all we're talking about. It's easy to be ordinary. The masses are ordinary. You meet people every day who are ordinary. But every now and then, we meet somebody and they're extraordinary. And you leave their company and you say, oh my God, that person was amazing.
And I think
you need to be that amazing
another
person.
word is great here is, yesterday I saw the show Wicked, the Wizard of Oz. And the funny thing about the show was actually, he was the wonder. He didn't do anything special. He was just the most wonderful person that people kind of seen, and he didn't have any special skills, but he was popular. And I think to be extraordinary, to be popular is, I think, what makes you as a realtor to connect
as a
with people. As a salespeople, you need to be likable, you need to be popular, you need to be sellable.
Absolutely, Diana. So at 6 o'clock, you have death and rebirth, and and we're now. You've died. The business has changed, and either you are going to have an amazing rebirth, or you're out of the business. So now we have this revelation, and the revelation is, who are you? Who do you need to be to keep your business alive? You know, you need to decide, again, extraordinary or ordinary. And I'll tell you, I am not willing to settle personally for ordinary. Are you, Diana?
No, I'm always trying to be the best of myself and to best of the situation. But it's really hard because obviously we are human beings and we have all kinds of
And life happens.
crazy mind and limitations and voices talking here and there, and you read, you follow, you go crazy. It's really hard. It's like you constantly have
Absolutely.
to fight your demons talking to you that no, this is not the person,
Right.
this is who you need to be, and this is you suck, you're not good enough, you're not versed enough, you're not good enough. So
Right. But in the rebirth, right? So in the rebirth, you have the revelation that, oh my God, I'm going to change the way I do things. And that is changes, right? You're now reaching towards, I'm going to change the way I run my business in real estate.
Yes.
On my journey.
you do have to change. If something is not working, very simple. If something is not working and you tried it many ways, maybe for a long time, maybe for a short time, and you see that it's not working, you have to change.
Right, but that's
once
evolution,
you
right?
change, yes, once you change, then the atonement happens.
The atonement, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to atone for your past indiscretions. You need to admit that the way you've been doing things didn't work, and that you are ready to continue your extraordinary life or to convert to your extraordinary life by atoning for whatever doesn't work and saying, I am going to make it happen. And you know, I think that we're often frustrated. There's a new agent who will hit the scene, and they come in with such fire and energy that it's annoying sometimes. But you know what? They have that desire to be extraordinary. And what annoys you, or me sometimes, I can't speak for you, is that they are so much beyond me in their energy level
Mm-hmm.
that it sort of reminds me, as I'm sitting here talking right now, that our energy level always needs to be here. And I'm not saying hyperactivity, but I'm just saying you need to be super, super attractive to people. You need to be that bright light in the room. And you need to be the bright light that attracts all the moths to you. They shouldn't die when they touch you. So let's ignore that analogy. But anyway, so you need to atone for your failures. So let's move forward. Now the next step in the chart is you get a gift of some kind.
I think the gift in our business and in sales is most likely going to be, well, the response are positive, or you do have a successful sale.
Right. I want to change the word gift to reward.
Yeah, reward.
I think you get a reward for your hard work.
Exactly, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel, sort of say. So you have to have that, some sort of reward, because everything that, each time you go through this cycle, the end is gonna be the reward. It has to be the reward because you changed, you adopted, you're doing the right thing.
Right. I agree. So moving forward, you get rewarded for your hard work and for your atonement and your changes and your new skills, and you're being rewarded for it now. And now you are a changed agent. There's an expression which is, are you a change agent? Well, hopefully you are. And that's kind of how the story runs. Are you able to follow this story? Or I'm sorry, these steps to a recipe for success in the story you are telling. Don't forget, we are, as humans, we're all storytellers. We're here to tell a story. Someone says to you, Diana, what is your story in real estate? Well, the hero story is your story. You know, I started out because I had this desire, and it was hard, and then I met so-and-so, they gave me a break. Oh, that's the other thing. There's always people in real estate giving you a break. That's what you have to hope for. That helps a lot. People will say, okay, you know, my sister's a realtor, but I'm going to use you. Wow, thank you. So that also means in your story, reward those who have helped you. Make sure that in the process, you're thankful. True. What's the phrase I hate about mindful? Make sure you're mindful. And we're going to do a 2-minute rant about being mindful. But you need to be mindful that your success is tied and pinned to all the people behind you. That includes other agents. It includes escrow, title, people who think you're great, who have spread the word about you.
Yes. So
that's today's call. I hope it was interesting.
Exactly. But I think everybody should investigate the hero's journey. I think it's a fantastic chart. And once you are in the business long enough, you do understand it, that this is just a cycle of any business, any success, a cycle of real estate being a successful realtor.
But you're telling a story, and I think it's the most important story you can tell and you can remind yourself is the way to get to your, again, ordinary life to be an extraordinary life in real estate.
Exactly. Alrighty. See you next week.
I want to do that. See you next week.